stop leveling up women. Let her level herself up.
The term boss her up is just not sitting very well with me, because it's like, I'm doing something for you. You would have never been able to do this if it wasn't for me.
That's a lot of people's lives.
How is that a reality in this situation?
Yeah, but I don't think
ride for how
From medical school.
What are we missing? Like,
her brain got her there though. She didn't have the capacity to be a doctor. No matter what money he paid, she wouldn't have been a doctor. So let's just make
That's
that
not
clear.
necessarily true.
That is true.
If he had the money, and maybe she could have spent 10 years doing the schooling.
you're stuck on the ego and the words boss up. Is that
Yeah,
that's what we're
I am.
doing? So if you rephrase it and don't say boss up, but say paid for your life.
How do you pay for your life?
Pay for your life.
He didn't pay bills. He supported her and paid for her school.
He's more of like
Medical
a ride or die.
school.
He's more of a ride or
How
die
does she
kind of
eat?
guy.
He
Not,
paid
not
for it.
the life.
How does she sleep? He paid for it. How does she breathe? He paid for it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 8 at the Table. Happy New Year. This is the start of 2025, and we got some beautiful guests as well as Amanda in Rome. Now, the first guest I'm going to introduce is Nekei, right? And then the second guest we have is
Falasha.
Falasha. I almost said Falasha.
Give me the
Falasha.
job. Give me the
Okay.
job.
So the first guest that we have is Nekei, and the second guest we have is Falasha. I want to say thank y'all for coming here. Now, we start off with, actually, Rome, tell them what we start off with.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you just got to answer it.
All right.
All right. If you could have dinner with anybody, who would it be, dead or alive?
Oh, that are alive. I would have dinner with Jay-Z. I love him.
Oh,
Accepted.
I would say Michael Jackson.
beat it.
Yes. I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson, and I also listen to him a lot, growing up and even now. And I just have so many questions. And I just
Like
wonder-
what? Did you do it? No. All right, I'm sorry.
You know
this
what?
is it. Yeah.
Michael Jackson is also my answer.
Mhm.
But the thing with, the dead or alive part
Right.
of this question, I think that people think that if they get this person to dinner, that all of their questions will be answered. And they might just stiff you.
That's true.
They won't answer the
Jay-Z
burning
would
question.
definitely stiff you.
This is
Jay-Z
true.
is different.
I didn't think about that.
All right, so my question is a bit explicit. Go figure. Haha. So obviously, I do know you're married. You can feel free not to answer, or it might be that answer, right? Beautiful thing. But I don't know your status. Are you single? I'm sorry.
Single and ready to jingle.
Jingle.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we just passed Christmas. So you have, God forbid, hypothetically, you have 24 hours to live, right? Now you get the opportunity to have any one dream crush or idealistic intimate moment with sexual encounter, intimate moment with anybody. Who would it be?
I mean, off the top of my head, that's pretty hot. I like Omari Chadwick. Yeah. He's
Okay,
baddie. He's a baddie.
he's a baddie.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, just pick the person on the top of your list. That's the easiest way to go about the question, to be honest. Who's at the top?
Mm-hmm.
Who's at the
Well-
top for you?
Oh, for me? That's right now, somebody new has been placed at my top. Y'all want to hear the answer?
Yes. The question was asked.
Aaron Pierre.
Oh,
I don't even know. I don't know who that person
Aaron.
I know who it is.
Pierre.
He
That's
talking about
Mufasa.
the Rebel Ridge,
Oh,
that was
Aaron
Ghost.
Pierre.
the Rebel
That's
Ridge guy,
Mufasa.
right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that's you.
Is that a girl or a boy?
No, it's a man. He light skinned.
He's the new Mufasa.
You should feel
Yes, he's
special.
Mufasa.
But he was in the Rebel Ridge, and he got an accent too, right? 'Cause
Yep.
He's overseas.
Yep.
Why do you know so much about him?
He's from London.
Because I watch TV.
Okay. And how about yourself?
So for me, it's nobody that I want to sleep with in 24 hours. Nobody. Even if
Oh.
I'm dying tomorrow. So it is not because I'm married. It's just nobody that I would sleep with in 24
Priorities.
hours.
Priorities.
I know that y'all had a topic like that too. So yeah.
I'm trying to say, I can
Nobody not getting these cookies in 24 hours.
Okay.
Nobody.
So stingy. You're just gonna die with the whole jar filled. Like, just give it out.
First of all, sex can be very quick.
You're right.
You have 24 hours.
Right.
You don't
Right.
want to
But who says I wanna have
sacrifice.
sex just because I'm dying tomorrow? Who says that that's the thing I want to do?
Get one last like.
No.
All right. I mean, listen, I can't argue. It's your prerogative.
Yeah. So let's do something else.
Wait, so can I ask, what are you prioritizing in these 24 hours?
I'm probably prioritizing spending time with the people that I love the most. Probably prioritizing that.
Not having sex with one of them.
Like, not thinking about not thinking about sleeping with them. Like, is that your dying wish? Like, I don't think so.
Yes. Just, what about? All right, whatever. I'm not.
I mean, I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a safe car ride home. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad.
I'm dying with my cookies. I'm taking my cookies to the
Holding on to
grave.
them.
to the grave.
All right, so today's prompt is, seems like it's from a guy, and he has questions about his relationship and or marriage. I will read the details. He says, I've been with my girlfriend for 9 years. Early in our relationship, she told me that she wanted to go to medical school, and I decided to pay her tuition because I felt like it was the right thing to do, as a man. I was in a position to support her financially, so I covered her tuition, paid all of our bills, and made sure she had everything she needed to succeed. That sounds like a lot for a non-married woman. Fast forward to now, she's a doctor, living the life she's always dreamed of, but somewhere along the way, things changed. It's not a money issue. I do well for myself, but my work isn't in a sexy industry. I'm not a doctor or lawyer, and she started treating me like I'm beneath her. She's made comments about the way I talk, the way I dress, and even told me not to come to her work events because I wouldn't fit in with her colleagues. It's heartbreaking because I gave so much of myself to help her get where she is today. Now I feel like I'm not good enough for her anymore. I don't know if I should keep fighting for this relationship or if it's time to walk away. After everything I've done, am I wrong to expect more respect and appreciation from the person I thought I'd spend my life with? There are some additional information notes here. He said his business is not glamorous, but it is successful. He owns a fleet of tow trucks, runs a junkyard removal service that generates substantial income. But in her new world of high society and prestigious professions, it seems his hard work and achievements don't measure up. High society can be ruthless in its judgment, and it's clear she's starting to internalize those standards. The man who once supported her dreams is now being sidelined because the industry doesn't carry the same social prestige. His industry doesn't carry the same social prestige as hers. Thoughts, opinions. We'll start with Nekei.
Wow.
Teachers just picking on people who without their hand raised.
Right.
Oh, I know.
It's a beautiful
I
thing.
mean, wow. I mean, there's so much to unpack there,
I love it, right?
right? But I mean, we'll first off, of course, when it comes to relationships, respect is definitely key. So whether, your husband is cleaning toilets for a living or sweeping the streets, right? I mean, yeah, he's doing tow trucks, but that's not that bad, right? He could be doing other things. He could be maybe like a porno director or something. I don't know. But, I mean, I would say like literally just being like more supportive when it comes to your partner's choice of work. So I think respect goes a really long way with that. So definitely for her, I would definitely mention that part on that end. And just because, that individual may not dress the certain way, I think it's just about a conversation, really.
You do so much for somebody, mind you, they've been together for 9 years. He's been with this woman for 9 years. He paid for her medical school, and I don't know how much it is. I'm going to guess it's probably in the $250,000.
You're looking for a transaction.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, it is a transaction
Or
because
is it just an investment to you financially? Is it a financial investment? Because, I mean, obviously in a relationship, you invest into your woman and vice versa. But if you're expecting literal money back in return, like for the remainder of her career, I don't know. That just seems wild to me.
yeah, because you don't think of it as somebody actually leveling up your business. You look at it as somebody is obligated to do something to help you as a person, but yet how you treat that person no longer can actually be null and void once you acquire whatever you've set yourself to do. So now, even if you do feel as if I'm beneath you, which is fine, right? Because your work or your line of work may have more prestige than mine. That's fine if that's how you feel. I didn't think that you would become this, right? But I'm going to get my money on the back end. Because remember this prestige world that you're now in didn't exist if it wasn't for me, right? And I think that what happens is we go so far as saying that people owe somebody because you love them. No. Because even once I do for you, that doesn't mean how you treat me after you get what you want is going to be the same as it was before you got what you now have. So, yeah, when we're talking about business, yes, business is going to be business, and I think business needs to be separated within a relationship. Our business is our business. Your profession and your job, if I'm funding it, is going to be business. But on our love life, our love is going to be separate from our business. I still love you. I still treat you the same, but obviously, and behind closed doors, they probably still rock off. But then when they get into he doesn't even get to go to the work events.
No.
Well,
Right.
in that case, do your business elsewhere. Like, don't mix the relationship and the business if that's how you're looking at it. You can have somebody else invest in your schooling so that you can give somebody else the 20% if that's what they're asking for. Like, why bring that into what's not even a marriage yet? So if, like, say that they never even got married, you would have been paying however much years, was it 9 years?
Mhm.
Of medical schooling for someone you didn't even know you were going to marry. Like, it could have went south. So honestly, I think that was a bad decision right there. But he said that he did it because it was the right thing to do. Another point that I want to make
He
is
felt like it was. As a man.
as a man, he felt like it was the right thing to do because he probably knew he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her anyway. I think that for the woman, if social status did matter to her, then I think that she shouldn't have allowed him to pay for her medical schooling, because I'm sure had they been together all of this time, she knew that she was going in this direction and she knew what he was doing for a living or what he was working towards. Now that she's achieved her goal and he is where he's at, it definitely doesn't give her the right to act like he's beneath her or anything like that. Treat him differently, talk down on the way he talks, dresses, or anything like that. Not allow him to come to work events. Like, that's embarrassing.
I think that people grow. Like, in 9 years, and I'm not saying that it's right for her not to respect him, but I think in 9 years, it should have been some kind of growth on his end as far as like the way he dresses, the way he presents himself. Shouldn't still be looking like the way we looked 9 years ago. So that could be a reason of her not wanting to bring him places. People grow. And when she was a student, she was a student. When she became a doctor and she's in those circles, it's now like, I need somebody to fit
And
where I'm going.
I don't disagree. But that's why I think that she shouldn't have allowed him to pay for
That's true.
the school, because she probably feels like, I have to stay here because he did this for me.
For me. So
But
she
that's the
feels- she
problem.
feels, he's vested and she's also vested.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, like, I want to bring sexism into this, because if the man now had the role as a doctor, we wouldn't even be talking about this, right?
Right.
And if she invested in him with the time and everything, because I just think that women, when they get to a place of prestige, and they are scrutinized for that, but if the man doesn't meet the standard of that prestige. So the woman is now scrutinized for saying that she's dating down because the guy is not a doctor. So I think that sexism plays a big role in the
Time out.
society when it comes to this.
How did we get okay?
Yeah, I had to,
Go ahead,
I had to
Ro.
bring it there. I had to bring it there.
Go ahead, Ron.
So I just had a couple questions before I give you what I feel like.
Okay.
Did they give any ages?
No.
Okay. So my thing is, it sounds like to me he was tricking on her because he already had his business and she was about to start medical school.
Right.
So he was most likely older, I'll say, and more established. So as far as you saying that he knew that he wanted to be with her, he probably just found like a young girl, in my opinion, younger person, and saw that she could be some things and he was attracted to or whatever. I think she was there for that and knew that she wasn't going to be with him after 9 years anyway. And as far as the whole growing thing, she could have seen or she could have helped him out like throughout this whole 9 years, say, hey, let's do this to your wardrobe, blah, 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 blah. So the whole social status and the things that he was saying in the prompt, would say a sexy job. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sexy industry.
Sexy industry. That doesn't even sound like something a man would say. That sounds like
So
something.
he put it in quotes.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
that probably came from an argument. How I'm saying it, an argument, and she said that to him because to him, listen, I'm funding your lifestyle. You're going to school. You don't got to do nothing, and in the end, we're going to be together. I just think that she was tricking the whole time, and he got caught up, and that's what I got out of the whole thing.
He wants out.
She never wanted in. She found a play.
And even if she did, like, let's say even if she did really want to be with him, let's say if she didn't start her medical schooling until year 5 out of the 9 years that they've been together, right? We don't ever start to tell men, and I will, stop leveling up women. Let her level herself up, because this is what happens, right? And it could be vice versa.
I was
right?
about to say, because
but
women do that
more
all the time.
more often than not.
That's why I brought that.
More often than not,
Yeah, you don't
historically, men boss up women. Women then get an opportunity. Well, I don't want to say they boss them up, because she does the work, right? She went to medical school. She did the work. But they are...
got financial aid.
They are...
Alone.
Maybe she couldn't. Right? But there's always some type of investment that men are doing for the benefit of a woman, for herself. And then he's getting the shit end of the stick. Like, for example, this prompt.
But that's not always the case, though.
I didn't say always. I said a lot.
Right.
So now when we get to this point, it's like there's no type of security that you left yourself with. So now you feel 2 times worse than if she bossed up and left you, because you were the reason why she was able to do so. So now you feel like you got used and left versus just outgrown and left. I can live with you outgrowing me and leaving me. I can't live with the fact that I have to now watch you thrive on my dollar and then leave me.
So the 20% is an insurance.
The 20% is your insurance, yeah, and I think that that's what's important, because we get so quick to say, understand that social pressure is real. He said he felt like it was the right thing to do as a man. Where did he get that from? Society.
Right.
So now society has told this man to do, to uplift your woman. Again, they weren't married, which was foolish, right? I do think that they should have been married before he went and did so. But to own a fleet of tow trucks, you're making a lot of money.
Right.
Right? You might be cash flow, you're bringing in more than doctors. Right? I don't know how much you're netting, but your cash flow, you're bringing in way more than doctors.
Because he did say that he was bringing in a substantial amount of money.
When we say sexy,
Like-
we really just mean a title, right? Because
Yeah,
she's
it's just a
doctor.
title.
It's a title.
I know. I don't think it's just a title. I think it's also the way you carry yourself, right? There's snootiness that gets involved when you're a doctor or you're a lawyer.
Title.
Yeah, but it's the title that brings out a personality. Like, he can make,
You're right.
let's say he makes $500,000 a year and she makes $300,000 a year, but he still got dirty fingernails from working, and he's like, I don't care, these pants have holes in it.
Right.
She's like, no, I'm dressing in a suit. You know what I'm saying? So like the type of environment that you're in will play an effect to the type of person or character or swag or whatever it is that you will start to possess in these rooms. And now you want somebody that matches you. Right? And that was the problem, like you said. She knew where she wanted to go. She also knew where he was at. 2 different worlds. Both got good money, hopefully. He said he was successful.
Right.
But they're different worlds. So it's not a money thing. It's a world thing.
Yes, it's a status, social status thing.
And I also wanted to say one more thing against you. It's like, I can't believe you said this. Men face it too.
Okay.
About the sexism. Because if this dude is a prestige brain surgeon and he's bringing in a stripper, which they've tried, they get looked down on. The man, not the woman.
Ooh, Drake had a baby by a porn star.
And Drake gets looked down on. All right?
He doesn't.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
By who?
I judged him for
By
that.
other-
We all did, because we were like, out of all the women, this one?
You don't have a baby by a porn star. That's just
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that it's the same though.
It's not.
Yeah.
Use a different.
Yeah.
Use a
because
different.
I don't think it's the same.
It definitely is the same, because it's like 2 different worlds.
Being a truck driver is not the same thing as or owning trucks. It's not the same
thing
as being a stripper.
Yeah. So you could say like school teacher.
A stripper can fund somebody's life. All right? Like, strippers
But
can.
a woman doesn't have to financially fund the life to be there to support a man to get him to his dreams. Okay? Meaning, like Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, right? She was there with him the whole time. I'm pretty sure that she didn't have money to fund where he was going, but she supported him in getting there. So support does not only have to come in financials.
Well,
And Michelle's smart as hell. She probably
her brain power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're talking about somebody who can't
to get a
afford.
man to make $1 million.
We're talking about somebody who couldn't afford something, right?
Yeah,
Fact
but
of
I'm
the matter
just
is,
trying to tell you that support is more, because you said for a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
what-
switching it
This,
around.
this prompt
This
was
prompt-
based off of financial because
Right.
she didn't put herself through school.
she couldn't. She couldn't.
Could not put herself through school.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it financial.
Okay.
Yeah, so for this.
Just for this.
Yeah, in general, yes, you're right, right? But financially, she couldn't fund the school. So he funded the school. So since he funded her school, that just goes to show that like when I boss you up, right? And then you shit on me, and you don't shit on me in a sense of the type of person I am. You shit on me in the sense of and the type of job that I have or business that I have, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because the dollar is still green. The dollar is that dollar. That
I'm not supporting it. It's wrong.
the term boss her up is just not sitting very well with me, because it's like I'm doing something for you. You would have never been able to do this if it wasn't for me. Right?
that's a lot of people's lives.
How is that a reality in this situation?
Yeah,
She
but
had a
I don't
free
think
ride for how
medical school.
What are we missing? Like
Her brain got her there, though. She didn't have the capacity to be a doctor. No matter what money he paid, she wouldn't have been a doctor. So let's just make
That's
that
not necessarily true.
That is true.
If he had the money, and maybe she could have spent 10 years doing the schooling.
You
Right? Like if he had the money to afford it for a decade, eventually she could become a doctor.
my point is he did it because he loved her. He wanted to do
That
that
was his
for
choice
her.
from the
But
prompt.
let's not get it confused. This is what she wanted to do. Let's not say that she would have never been a doctor
Right.
if it wasn't for him.
Right.
She never said that she would never.
Okay, but don't say I'm bossing you
I
up.
still did it though. It might have been somebody else's to do. She might have been able to do it on her own, but she didn't. I did it.
so you're stuck.
And it was your choice to do it.
Yeah, but
clearly in the prompt, it was his
I
choice.
did it.
It was his choice.
It don't matter about the choice. I did it.
You're stuck on the ego and the words boss up. Is that
Yeah,
that's what we're
I am.
doing? So if you rephrase it and don't say boss up, but say paid for your life.
For your life.
She
Paid for your life.
She didn't pay bills. He supported her and paid for her school.
He's more of like
Medical
a ride or die.
school.
He's more of a ride or
How
die
did she
kind of
eat?
guy.
He
Not,
paid
not
for it.
for the life.
How did she sleep? He paid for it. How did she breathe? He paid for it.
Wow.
So we'll take away boss up and we'll say
Okay.
we say I birthed a child that I never birthed. How about that? Is that
Okay,
better?
Rome, don't be smart with me.
Beautiful.
Answer the question.
Because at the end of the day, I don't agree with how she's handling him. So let's not get that confused. I'm not trying to be on her
Why don't you
side.
agree with it?
I don't agree with her shitting on him and saying, "Oh, I don't like how you dress, or I don't like how you talk, and you can't come to my work." Like nobody deserves to be treated like
But
that.
why?
Because they're
respect
first of
issue.
all, because they're partners, not because he paid for all this shit.
But why are they
That's-
partners?
They're married, right?
No.
They just
No.
chose to be together. We don't know.
They've been boyfriend and girlfriend for 9 years.
I'm talking
They're
shit.
still partners.
Okay.
If you're my man, I'm not
Right.
going to talk
Get
to you like
together.
that. I'm not going to do that to you, but not because I love you and you're my partner. Not because you paid for X, Y, and Z, so I shouldn't be talking to you like that. That's the point I'm trying to make.
But maybe is he's not. Maybe
More of an incentive. I'm sorry to cut you off. If I'm paying for your school, you should know how to speak to me. And before you fix your lips to speak to me any crazily, you should be like, this man is paying for my school.
And that's why men
Or
use the money
paid.
to do that. Men use money to pay for it for that.
Right.
To control the way you interact with them.
And I'm not saying there's no level of control of control in this. I'm saying, but
yeah, that's why they
some
do
men.
it.
But some men.
That's why she got her own money.
I'll be honest. I don't think for this prompt it was a control thing. I think it
No,
was
I
an
don't either.
importance thing. This is important to you to acquire this for you. I want to contribute to you because I care and love you. But now you finally reached the height that you wanted to reach at the job that you now have, and now you treating me beneath the height that you have climbed. But I literally paved the goddamn steps for you to walk up. I paved it. I didn't walk up. You walked up, but I put the flooring in each step for you to climb this ladder.
So the conversation is this, right? So the question is really, did they even have a conversation? You know, did you express your needs? Did you express your wants? Did you express this 20%? in the beginning?
That was a Rico thing. He needed to call me first.
Right? Did she express like, you know what, babe, when we go out to different events and stuff, could you dress like this? Or how about that nice outfit you wear? There's different ways that a woman could communicate her needs, her wants, her desires by how she talks to a man. If she's obviously talking down to him that way, it's because they don't have a conversation.
And I think what I'm concluding from this whole prompt is that if they're not married, which I thought was mistaken, but if they're not married, she does not plan to take him with her. Yeah. She's elevating. And
she's out.
She's like, okay, I've received X, Y, and Z from this man. Mm-hmm. And at this point,
thank you.
I'm here.
I appreciate
He's
you.
here. And he ain't coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just talk to him how I talk to him. He's not coming out with me, whatever. And I'm going to just let this fizzle out.
Well, okay, I agree with you. Well, that's what Rome said. So I agree with Rome, not you. But
oh goodness.
You see how they do me?
But
I see.
let's also take out the fact. See, I want to take out the talking part, like how she talks to him, only because he said he feels like.
Right.
So it could be, and he put in quotes, it's not a sexy industry. And then he also put air quotes that the way that he dressed doesn't fit in with the environment.
He could be dealing with his own insecurities.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be that she's actually
talking down, like disrespecting. So like I want to take that out, right? So I think that the conversation that needs to be had is right here with us is that by her trying to say she doesn't like the way that he dressed, the way that he dresses doesn't fit in, is she trying to now change him? And I think there's where they may have had conversations, but he doesn't want to budge into her lifestyle. It's not that he couldn't afford to go to medical school. And I'm not going to say he's smart enough or is not, right, capable to graduate. But he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to live in that world for whatever reason. But he supplied it to you. So he's giving the world to you. But can two different worlds learn or not? They can technically. But does two different worlds tend to find a middle ground where they can respect each other's craft, although they both are making very similar amounts of money?
I think that there should definitely be a middle ground. You could be with someone that you can't marry a person that's a senator or be with a senator and still try to be a bottle girl, like, right? So you have to adjust to your partner's lifestyle, even if the man or the woman. So right now, him saying the whole, you're saying that he leveled her up, she's now trying to level him up. So the level up is, hey, when we're going out, you need to put a suit on. And I know you don't have a suit and you don't like wearing suits because your job doesn't require you to dress that way. He shouldn't feel insecure about that. He shouldn't feel like she's putting him down. That is actually leveling him up.
But what if
I cannot say I'm dating a senator and if a senator wants me and I'm a bottle girl and he wants me to go to an event, I have to dress like I'm with a senator.
Well,
so if she's saying that she's a doctor now and she's going in a space with prestigious people, he needs to come along with that. And it's not about, and I think men have a problem doing that because it's more like now she's taking the lead and he doesn't want to follow that. I just want to be stuck in being myself. And that's why in the beginning of the conversation, I said that you have to grow with your partner. You have to grow with your partner. So it's not about, this is not who I am anymore. This is more about, this is where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. This is what she needs from me right now. This is not who I am essentially, but I'm going to do this for her. So I am not with her disrespecting him or anything like that. But if she's saying that, hey, I'm in these prestigious circles and I would like you to be there, but I don't want you dressed like that. It's nothing wrong with her saying that to him, and he shouldn't get insecure about that.
I don't think that it's an insecurity. I think it's a respect thing because it's not about, I don't need to blend in your world.
You do.
No, I don't. And this is the thing. I don't need to blend in your world just like I don't expect you to blend in mine. See, the thing is, well, we have to have, I do agree, you can't have a bottle service person and a senator, but if a person owns 100 clubs, he got probably the same amount of power as some.
It's not about power.
But what I'm saying is the level of success is what I'm trying to compare.
I love the level of success. I'm talking about the social circles.
But I'm not. But no, the social circles can be different. But the level of respect also comes with the success that you've acquired. So if this person is like, okay, cool, I own a fleet of trucks, and next thing you know, he owns fleets of trucks in 50 different states. I don't give a fuck about your doctor. I could buy this whole shit.
You're right about that.
But wait, it's not about that. It's what I'm trying to tell you is that our worlds don't blend, but that doesn't mean that respect needs to be lost. right? So if I don't want to wear a suit, own it. You're supposed to be my wife. Yo, listen, I'm not saying he has to go there looking absolutely insane. That's not.
What's the problem with wearing the suit though?
Because I'm just saying, if the suit represents being a part of that group, he's not going to be a professional pretender that you want him to be.
It's not about being a pretender.
He's not a prestigious guy. He's a hardworking person. Maybe he likes labor.
He's with a prestigious woman. We all
No. He's with a woman who is now playing prestigious.
She's not playing prestigious. She is.
She was not prestigious. No, she was never prestigious.
Status has changed. People's social circles change. So as you evolve as a couple, 9 years is a long time. I don't know if you've been in a relationship that long. That's a long time. We should not be looking and being in the same places. She's no longer a student anymore. She's a doctor.
Yeah, she's
if
a
we're
doctor
going
now.
in these circles,
We're not talking about that though.
Dress up,
we're
bro.
But we're not talking about you growing, right?
9 years, you grow with the person.
But we're not talking about your growth here. We're having two different.
Or you don't.
And he did. Yeah. He's not.
But he didn't need to. She needed to catch up. He was already here.
We talking about social, economic status.
Yes, but your status is based on what?
Where you are in your life.
No. What is the status she is based on?
Her title, her being a doctor.
Her being a doctor. So what is a doctor? What is that status? What does it take to have that status?
School.
He has to go to school.
Thank you. So now you're talking about somebody who was able to make a lot of money without school, who now has to blend to fit in to act as the part of people who making the same or less because they went to school. So they think they're better than or different or, well, I'm going to say better than because he said that they look beneath him.
He feels that way.
She's made comments about the way that I talk, the way that I dress, and even told me not to come to her work events because I wouldn't fit in with her colleagues. Okay. So I'm going to assume the way he talks, dress, and the fact that he can't fit in is similar to the example that Alan is saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you just don't fit in. Like, it's not that you are not successful. You just don't fit in.
For that, I think she would be wrong. But if she gave him a chance and something happened there and he felt away, then he has the right to feel that way. But if she comes off ripping like, oh, you're not going to wear a suit, you're going to wear overalls, you're going to embarrass me, without even giving him a chance, because she could have bought him a suit in 9 years. You know what I mean? She could surprise him with a suit, say, hey, this is where we're going. These are my friends, and just let it at that, and let him work the room or not.
Yeah.
And if that happened and something bad happened, then I understand where he's coming from. But if she's just telling him off rip like, nah, you can't come because look at you a podunk bum.
Or even, but do you agree with Rico saying that I could buy this whole shit so I don't have to wear a suit?
That I don't agree with, only because that just sounds like ego talking instead of what it is. Because according to you, if I bossed you up, then at some point you're here and I'm here. What's the next level? Are we both at our ceilings? Right. Or is it where you're only going to wear suits and doctor clothes and I'm always going to be in overalls?
Right.
There has to be a constant evolution in a relationship. So if he's at his ceiling, then that's what it sounds like he's talking about. Like, I'm not wearing this, I'm not wearing that. Then cool. She's telling you I'm in a social circle now where these people are introducing me to things that I didn't know before, and I want to either bring you with me or not.
That's it.
And that's what I got out of it.
So my thing is this. It's not about ego, right? It's about respect. And I think what happens is and I've been in both circles, right? I've been in both environments. I've been in many different environments. And one thing I realized is that I watch people try to fit in so bad. And they don't fit even when you try. You actually look worse. And my problem with this whole prompt is maybe I'm going to assume that she did provide a suit or some type of attire and he was just not willing to put it on because he wanted to own who he is. My whole problem is with this entire prompt is that not you, but she doesn't own where her foundation came from. She's not proud of her foundation. She's not proud of the person. And I'm just saying from me personally, if I was dating a woman and my job was to become a doctor and she was, I don't want to say a stripper because for me that wouldn't work, but let's say she owned a club. She owned strip clubs, right? And her strip clubs that she's owned 5 strip clubs, that strip club money got me through medical school, and now it got me to a doctor, got me to become a doctor. I'm going to go to those places, and if they ask me what my wife does or my girlfriend does of 9 years, I'm going to tell them she owns strip clubs. They're like, wow, that's kind of like, and I'm like, yes, but she's the reason why I'm even here now. She's the reason why I'm not going to let you talk bad about my foundation. Especially the only person who really probably supported me, because otherwise I'd have got the support way before he decided to do it.
That nowhere in the prompt is that said that she hasn't done that. That conversation could have happened, and they could have been like, why don't you bring your man around? Why don't you bring your man around? So that conversation could have happened. And it's not, I think it sounded like you were saying, I bossed you up, I pay for everything, and I want this constant like appreciation and constant respect. Yes. When really she respected 20%. Him all the way up until this point, and there had to be a breaking point where it was like, listen, I can only take you so far without you really wanting to come with me. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I'm gonna tell you added a lot of shit in there. So I don't know how the fuck you sound, how it sounded. All I said was that he paid for.
We got that. But how long can he use that?
No.
Now.
It's not about that. It's not about how long can he use that. It's about what's now currently happening. Because he could have never had even felt this way because this situation never happened. She might have took 3 years after becoming a doctor to actually be invited to these type of events and actually started having some type of network within these events.
Okay.
So this is all relatively new, I'm going to assume. Right? So if that's the case, it's about now you finally feel this way. But you never felt this way when you were taking the money from me. You never felt this way when you've graduated. You never felt this way when you've just started. You only started to feel this way because of your circle.
Yeah, her social economic status.
But your social economic status,
it changed.
May have changed. But I'm going to say she's made comments about him not coming because he doesn't fit in, which to me, I'm going to say she has not owned where she came from. She has not owned it and said, well, listen, we could work on him, but
her status is influencing her behavior.
I don't see why she has to own. I don't see why she has to go in these social circles and be like, well, this is where I came from. And this, like, I don't see where that's necessary. And I think that's why growth isn't important either way. No, she didn't start off in these social circles. It doesn't matter. That's where she's at right now. In the process of her getting from here to here, she's learning new things. She's found a way to make herself fit into these these social circles and having these conversations. Whatever she knows that her partner isn't quite like privy to. So I think that's why she's saying that. But also, the growth does matter. I don't see why it's important to you for her to be like, well, I only came here because my partner paid this or blah, blah, blah. And this is where I came from. Like,
for her success.
Who, him? Or are you saying me?
Saying that.
No,
recognition.
I don't think he wants the recognition. There's this, he wants, and this is what,
to be a sign.
I'm going to tell you what it is. There's a lot of people that are not loyal to the people who've contributed to their life. And that's my issue. Because those people, those economic status, social events are only now affecting how she views her man.
She's the problem.
Yes, and that's my thing. Because if she told them, that is my man that I've been with 9 years from through thick and thin.
Which she doesn't have to say.
Which she doesn't have to say, but what I'm saying is when you appreciate somebody and the role that they played in your life, you're not going to allow people to influence you to disrespect them or to look at them, to look down on them. Now, I'm not saying that he has to go there and whatnot, but if, because he's saying that he also felt like he was now being spoken to and treated beneath her, which means that their influences is now going into their home life. Yeah. So now because she's never owned her foundation and told him, listen, this is what it is, he doesn't fit in here, which is fine, but don't disrespect him, Like, then they'd be like, all right, listen, then you now know that when she goes home, she's not looking down on him with the same eyes that they have. And I feel like now that's when you can see the correlation.
So I think just to wrap this one up, we all agree that she's wrong.
She's wrong.
Yeah.
I think she's wrong. But if he really thinks that the relationship is worth it, or because I don't know how much he is just like assuming or what she's like actually doing and saying to him, try to meet her somewhere of where she's at.
To see if it's really his own ego and his own insecurity, or is it really her talking down to him?
Right. Like make the effort to try to
go to the events and
right.
dress
at least
for the
one.
occasion.
At least
exactly. Just make a little bit of the effort so that you know for yourself what it is, like what's in your mind or what's the
reality.
And go
yeah,
in
what's
there
the
with an open
reality?
mind, though. Don't
right.
go in there on some like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this.
But
anyway.
even if he does and he fails, then he's fucked. But the real question is this, and let's just 2 minutes on this but then we can move on because we actually never answered the question. I believe the actual question was, should he keep fighting for this relationship?
Answer no.
Okay. No, bro.
No.
Amanda?
I say give it a chance, honestly, because we did say that maybe it's a little bit of insecurity or maybe it's all in his head. Like we don't know what she's actually saying and what's actually being done in the relationship. So just try to meet her where she's at a little bit and, see if it's really her or if it's you. And then you can make the decision.
I say yes. Get married to her.
Hey.
That's a good one.
Get married to her.
Demand the 20%.
Get married to her. And then we going to figure out the business later.
Jesus.
You want to play chess, not checkers, bro.